What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing another career sim video on Alexis Lafrenière, this time on NHL 21. We did one back in February where he ended up getting drafted to the Detroit Red Wings, but as I'm sure you obviously know, the Rangers did end up winning the draft lottery, and with that did select Alexis Lafrenière with the first overall pick. Prior to the draft, Alexis Lafrenière absolutely tore it up in the juniors. In his last season with the Rimouski Oceanic, it did end up being cut short due to the pandemic, but in it he did score 35 goals and 77 assists for 112 points in just 52 games. Along with this, he did help Team Canada win the gold medal in the World Juniors, and in the 5 games he played in, he scored 4 goals and 6 assists for 10 points. Clearly, this guy proved why he deserved to be the #1 pick in this year's NHL entry draft, and today's video we will be simming year by year and seeing how the career of Alexis Lafrenière will unfold. I will be controlling a different team and having it so that the CPU makes all the decisions, and now with all this being said, let's see how Alexis Lafrenière is looking heading into year number 1. So going into year number 1, Alexis Lafrenière is starting out on the second line at left wing of the New York Rangers, playing alongside Mika Zibanejad and Pavel Buchnevich. I'm also confused as to why Mika is not on the first line. That's just how the Rangers GM in the sim engine has it. Anyway, Lafrenière is starting off at 82 overall, and his current role is a third scoring line forward, and he has high elite potential. His stats going into his rookie year see him with 88 offensive awareness, 87 shot power, 87 speed, and 87 puck control. Not bad at all, and now let's see if it will be enough to take home the Calder for being the Rookie of the Year. Year number 1 sees the New York Rangers have a very solid regular season as they finished 9th in the NHL and made the Stanley Cup playoffs. In the playoffs, they did end up falling in the first round to the Pittsburgh Penguins in 7 games. Alexis Lafreniere's rookie season was a very respectable one as he scored 18 goals and 38 assists for 56 points in the regular season, and in the playoffs led the way for the New York Rangers with 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points in 7 games. Lafrenière increases up to an 83 overall and did end up taking home the Calder Trophy as the league's best rookie. After a great year number 1 in the simulation, the Rangers in year number 2 struggled big time and end up finishing 28th in the NHL. Despite the team going backwards, Alexis Lafrenière did improve from last season, scoring 26 goals and 38 assists for 64 points in his sophomore season. With this, he increases up to an 85 overall, and the Rangers get some compensation for this poor year as they draft George Bakar, who is a 79 overall defenseman with medium elite potential. The Rangers season in year number 3 is a complete 180 from year number 2 as they go from 28th in the league all the way to 2nd place. In the playoffs, they got out of the first round this time, beating the New York Islanders, but in the second round fall to the Carolina Hurricanes in 6 games. In the last year of his entry-level deal, Alexis Lafrenière once again has his best season yet as he scores 26 goals and 45 assists for 71 points. Once again in the playoffs, he led the Rangers with 7 goals and 9 assists for 16 points in 11 games. Lafrenière increases up to an 86 overall, and in the offseason re-signs with the Rangers on a 4-year deal worth $9.2 million per season. Once again, the Rangers have themselves an amazing season. This one their best yet as they finished first in the league and took home the President's Trophy. The playoffs were very similar to last year's as they won in the first round, but again were eliminated by the Carolina Hurricanes in 6 games in the second round. Alexis Lafrenière has himself a massive regular season, scoring 35 goals and 52 assists for 87 points, helping his line mate Capo Caco take home the Lady Byng Trophy. Lafreniere's playoff magic didn't work as well though this season as he put up just 6 assists in 13 games. He again increases in overall and is now up to an 88. After 2 massive regular seasons, the Rangers fall off a little bit and find themselves 19th in the NHL in year number 5 and missing out on the Stanley Cup playoffs. Alexis Lafrenière is still going strong though regardless and once again has himself a great regular season as he put up 77 points after scoring 29 goals and 48 assists. He does increase in overall and is now up to an 89. Hopefully the Rangers turn things around. Also, here are the awards for the last 5 years for those who are interested. The inconsistency continues as the Rangers find themselves as one of the league's top teams once again as they finish 2nd in the league. The playoffs were a nightmare though as they were swept by the Buffalo Sabres in the first round. Lafreniere's regular season was a bit shorter than normal due to injury, and in the 74 games he did play in, he scored 22 goals and 49 assists for 71 points. In the 4-game playoff disaster, he added a goal and an assist for 2 points. Lafrenière remains at 89 overall as he heads into the last year of his current contract. To no one's surprise, the sim continues to be all over the place, and this year has the Rangers on the bad side of it, as this season has them finishing 17th in the league and missing out on the Stanley Cup playoffs. In the last year of his current deal, Alexis Lafrenière scored 23 goals and 48 assists for a solid 71-point season and jumps up to a 90 overall. In the offseason, he re-signs with the New York Rangers on a massive 8-year-long deal worth $10.1 million per year. After missing the playoffs by not much the year before, the Rangers make the playoffs by not that much as they finished 12th in the league and made it in as the final spot in the Eastern Conference. Like last time they made the playoffs, the Rangers once again are swept in the first round, this time to the Florida Panthers. Have to imagine the Rangers and Lafrenière are beginning to be labeled as playoff chokers. Speaking of Lafrenière, he had his best regular season yet, scoring 34 goals and 59 assists for 93 points. In the playoffs, he did show up with 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points, but obviously it wasn't enough to get past the first round. With all this, Lafrenière jumps up to a 92 overall. Again, the Rangers are in the playoffs after a good season, this one seeing them finish 7th in the NHL. In the playoffs, they finally won a series again for the first time in a while as they beat the Philadelphia Flyers in 5 games. After that series, they were swept though in the second round by the Washington Capitals, and once again we are yet to see the Rangers make it out of the second round. Alexis Lafrenière had another massive regular season, scoring 33 goals and 59 assists for 92 points, and in the playoffs had 8 points in 9 games. Lafrenière still remains at 92 overall. Year number 10 has the Rangers on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoffs this season as they finished 21st in the league. Despite the team's poor season, Lafrenière set a new career high for points with 95 after scoring 23 goals and 72 assists on the year. Lafrenière stays at 92 overall, and hopefully the Rangers can turn things around quickly. So 10 years into his career now, Alexis Lafrenière has played in 807 NHL games, scored 269 goals and 508 assists for 777 career points so far. He took home the Calder trophy in 2021 and has been one of the league's top players in the league for a few years now. Only problem right now is that the Rangers haven't gotten past the second round yet, but you can't really blame Lafrenière as he has been putting up solid numbers in the playoffs for most years. Hopefully that changes as we get into the rest of his career. Also, once again, here are the awards for the last 5 seasons. Year 11 has the Rangers finishing 20th in the NHL and once again not making the Stanley Cup playoffs. Alexis Lafrenière continues to put up really good seasons though, this one seeing him end up with 19 goals and 62 assists for 81 points on the year. Lafrenière does end up dropping to a 91 overall, and the Rangers really need to get going as Lafrenière is pushing 30 years old now. For the 3rd straight season, the New York Rangers missed out on the playoffs and finished 22nd in the NHL. To make matters worse, Alexis Lafrenière also just had his worst season yet in his career with 25 goals and 23 assists for 48 points, and with this drops to an 89 overall. The Rangers still are struggling in year number 13 and missed the playoffs for the 4th straight season, and Alexis Lafrenière isn't getting any younger. This season did see Lafrenière bounce back a bit from last year's as he put up 20 goals and 42 assists for 62 points. He led the Rangers in points and increased back up to a 90 overall. The pain continues into year number 14 as Alexis Lafrenière turns 32 years old, and he and the Rangers have not had a shot at the Stanley Cup since he was 27. He again had another 62-point season, this time after scoring 13 goals and 49 assists. Lafrenière drops back to an 89 as he heads into the final year of his current deal. In the last year of his current contract with the New York Rangers, the team once again shits the bed as they fail to make the playoffs and finish 24th in the league. Lafrenière, at 33 years old, still puts up a good season for someone at this age as he scored 18 goals and 43 assists for 61 points on the year. Lafrenière drops to an 87 overall, and in the offseason stays loyal to the New York Rangers and re-signs with them on a 3-year deal worth $10.2 million per year. Re-signing with the Rangers maybe actually wasn't a terrible move for Lafrenière as the Rangers finally got back to the playoffs after finishing 12th in the NHL. Also, the Atlantic was so bad this season that the Red Wings made the playoffs as the 24th place team in the NHL. Anyway, the playoffs pick up right where they usually left off though, with another first round exit, this time to Buffalo in 7 games. Alexis Lafrenière again with a very solid regular season, scoring 19 goals and 45 assists for 64 points, and in the playoffs added a goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Lafrenière remains at 87 overall, and hopefully the Rangers continue to improve. The Rangers again have a good regular season, this one seeing them back as one of the top teams in the league after finishing in 9th place. In the playoffs they got out of the first round, but still couldn't get over the second round hump as the Caps took them out in 6 games. Lafrenière still showed no signs of slowing down after another season in the 60 to 70 point range, as this year he scored 22 goals and 42 assists for 62 points. In the playoffs he was very solid, scoring 5 goals and 6 assists for 11 points in 13 games. We do see him decrease though in overall, and he falls all the way down to an 85. And somehow the Rangers, after winning a round and finishing 9th in the NHL, fall off a cliff this year and finish 29th in the league. The sim is really all over the place. Anyway, Alexis Lafrenière is still doing good despite his age. This year at 36 years old, he still managed to score 12 goals and 40 assists for 52 points. Lafrenière does drop to an 80 overall, and decides he's had enough of losing and decides to retire. So after 18 NHL seasons, all with the New York Rangers, Alexis Lafrenière played in 1,445 NHL games, scored 417 goals and 852 assists for 1,269 career points. Lafrenière took home the Calder trophy in his rookie season, but that would be all he won in his career. He was an elite player throughout, but sadly the New York Rangers couldn't consistently make the playoffs or succeed in them throughout the sim. Lafrenière finishes his career as the all-time leader in the Rangers franchise for points, assists, and games played. Once again, good career, but he sadly didn't win any hardware besides the Calder. So there you guys have it, Alexis Lafreniere's career simmed on NHL 21. Obviously wasn't the best sim, but that's just how the game had it go. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know who you would like to see next, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.